The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vice President Myers.
Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Meyer,
Here.
Mrs. Barra, Ms. Fletcher Mickens, Mr. Abear,
Here.
Mr. Washington,
Here.
Mrs. Hood,
Here.
Mrs. Arso,
Here.
Mrs. Dugas. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Dear Lord, please bless us with the guidance and wisdom to make the best decisions for our school system and our community at large. Moving forward, in your name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Ms.
Second.
Scott, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
I need to, motion to adoption of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Move by Ms. Barris, second by Ms. Cooney. All in favor?
Aye.
Under reports and recognition, receive administration personnel report. We all have it in our folder. You can read it at your leisure. B, recognize and honor the 2022-2023 Teachers of the Year at their respective schools and the 2022-2023 Elementary, Middle, and High School Teacher of the Year and Principal of the Year for the district.
Good evening, everyone. Let me lower that slide. Every year, I have the honor of recognizing the Teacher of the Year at each site, along with the Principal of the Year throughout the district. This is an annual event designed to recognize and honor our outstanding teachers and leaders from local school systems throughout the state. We do ask each school to create a committee. Teachers present portfolios. They rate their portfolios. Those winners are sent to the district levels. We have retired teachers come in, grade those portfolios, and that's how we select our winners from those categories. So without further ado, recognizing school level winners first. As I recognize your name, can you please come up and accept your award? Can the president and Mr. B please come down here to give out the awards? Starting off in elementary, Teacher of the Year school level winner for Belrose Primary is Ms. Daquita Lucian.
Good job.
Out of Via Lewis Primary School, our school level winner, Teacher of the Year is Ms. Rose Jameson. Out of Napoleonville Primary School, the selection for that school site, school level winner, is Ms. Pam Tucker. I'm going to announce the winner for Pierreport Elementary, but This candidate, usually when we have meetings, always has something to do because she is a coach at the school. So there's an activity. She's very active. She does apologize for being here. If I can get her at a later date, we can recognize her, but I don't want to forget her. Out of Peel Park Elementary, the school level winner for there is Miss Christy Cavier. Going into the middle school level for school level winners, we'll start off with Labradorville Middle School. The winner at that school is Miss Elisa Clark.
Congratulations, man.
The second middle school school level winner is out of the Center Parish, which is out of Napoleonville Middle School. The winner here is Miss Dawn LeBlanc. Before I announce the district winners for teachers, I'm going to ask Miss Ruth Blanchard to come up. They always like to give something to our three winners of our teachers. She's from the Retired Association of Assumption Parish School Board, the retirees. They were always so grateful. I really want to thank them. They actually called me earlier than I called them, so it just shows you their commitment of, hey, when is it? So we can at least present something to them. So I'm going to have Miss Ruth here along with us. Make sure you get in the picture, please, doing that. In primary school, the district level winner is from Labradorville Primary School, Miss Sarah Daig. We're going to move on to our middle school level winner for the district level. This actually comes out of Belrose Middle. She did serve last year inside of pupil appraisal and kind of moved around, but she is right now stationed at Belrose Middle. The winner for this is Miss Lucy Barbier. Our last teacher is from the high school division. Again, we only have one high school, so usually whoever they send over, but again, they do a very good job. We have a lot of outstanding teachers there. But from Assumption High School, our district level winner is Miss Amy Boudreau. And before we move on to the principal of the year, I really want to thank, especially the district. Well, first I want to thank everybody because it takes a lot of work to put the folio together. Besides all the work they're doing in the classrooms and all of the things they really do, this is an extra step that they have to do that they do in their own time. But also when the district level winners come, there's another step that they had to do over the break to get everything ready for January 11th, I think the date was, to turn over. So there's another step of stuff they have to turn over to the State Department. So their commitment, you can see why these people are sitting up here because they actually do go beyond what we ask for in the classroom. This year's Principal of the Year winner is actually a repeat from last year. I can't say enough about this young principal that's there. But our district Principal of the Year winner comes out of Napoleonville Middle School, Miss Kathy Oakland.
school teachers, line us up. Tell me how y'all need.
Real wide, ain't it?
Congratulations.
Congratulations, ladies, well deserved.
Yep, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I think the impact you guys have on your students is definitely undeniable. But just as important, the impact you have on each other when you're working together is just as important, to have advocates like y'all to help each other and to be there for the kids too. So congratulations again. And the principal, Ms. Kathy, I talked to one of your teachers today, and she had nothing but you're the best principal she's ever had and the most supportive principal she's ever had. So that was very nice to hear too.
Amazing.
I won't say who the teacher was.
Again, congratulations to each and every one of you. What a way to start this new year off. You know, as you're all aware, our students are our most precious resources, but it is you guys, our teachers and principal, have to cultivate this resource in order that these young men and women grow up to be good people in society and productive people in society. And again, that is because of the hard work and dedication of you people, the teachers, and our principal. Again, congratulations. And this is honor well deserved. You earned this. And nobody gave it to you. You earned it. Thank you again very, very much for your work and your hard work and dedication. Again, thank you very much.
And congratulations to all of y'all again. And we thank y'all for all the hard work y'all done. And I guess I'm gonna have to have another conversation with Mr. Martin there. So, but congratulations, and for 2 years in a row, right?
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We thank you for what you do.
Again. Yeah. Congratulations. You know, I think everybody on this board has a favorite teacher or somebody that was a role model or mentor to them, and I can attest to that. And you guys are going to be that one day. So somebody who's going to be a prominent member of society. So congratulations to all you guys. Next, recognize Lavertyville Middle School for the formation of a new book club.
Hey, boy.
Yes, I actually brought this on the agenda to Dr. B. I saw Dr. Crochet post something on Facebook about a book club that he started, and I immediately sent him a message and told him congratulations and something really great to start with the kids, especially in the time where it's tough for some kids to find their group and who they belong to. And I think these kids gravitated towards each other pretty quickly from what he was telling me. And Ms. Cortez, his student, that wanted to be the president of the club right away, and he jumped on that and got her involved. So we congratulate you. Thank you so much for starting that, for being a positive influence on the kids. Yeah, if you want to come say something about them, that'd be awesome.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Doc, but we're here now, so.
I do have, there we go. We do have one of our members, Miss Leonia. She's in the back. She's a little shy. Our president did, she planned on making it, and I don't know, she didn't make it yet, but it started out as two things. One, as we were checking bags every morning, we noticed how many students actually had books. We was not shocked, but excited that they had all of these books that were beyond what was in the curriculum. So I kept that in mind, and one day, Abigail, who's our little president, she was out of class and we were talking, and she was one of them who had the book. She had Pride and Prejudice. And I said, you know what's gonna happen is we're gonna start a book club over here and you're gonna be the president. And I really expected her to be like, I ain't doing that, you know, but she took it and she ran with it. Next thing I know, I get an email, and here's the logo for the book club. So I'm like, okay, she's really serious. So we had a meeting a little while back, and 2 weeks ago, and I just invited anybody who wanted to be part of it, who had a book. That was their ticket to get in. And the excitement, I had teachers a little upset because why, we didn't know there was a meeting. So the enthusiasm for the teachers is also there. She's already gotten some ideas going for activities. We're gonna set up a give and take cabinet at school, take a book, leave a book. We're gonna get that going. I think they wanna go to the LSU Book Bazaar in April. If you've never been there, it's really great. You get tons of books for really cheap. And in October, I think we're gonna try to bring them to the Louisiana Book Festival. So we're really excited about that. It's new, and you know, very fortunate that we got some kids who really are excited to get it going. So thank you all for the invitation, and that's it.
All right.
Where do they get the books? Are they library books?
Well, a lot of them are they purchase on their own. Some of them, which was really interesting, was from the public library. That I thought, because I'm like, what kids these days go to the public library? But they do. So they're from all over, and we're going to look at, you know, getting them more into the library at school to see what, you know, because there are some books in there, but we don't get in there as often as we'd like to. But they buy them, believe it or not. So, and once we get the little share thing going, that ought to be interesting to see them exchange those books. But a lot of them are bought.
I would like to see us look at dedicating some funds to these school libraries, because a lot of these books are old and have been used to be there. I mean, they're there. The pages, they're falling apart. We need to get some books into their hands, and I know they have their reading books and their trade books for reading, but actual library books that they can check out and bring home and read and bring back to school. So they don't have to go out and purchase books on their own. And a lot of parents don't have transportation to the public libraries. Another thing, there are actually vending machines that you can get that dispense books. And as an incentive for those students, they can earn tokens to go to that vending machine. That's the big spiel right now.
Have to look into that.
Yeah, after we,
Libraries, yeah.
and you're uniquely qualified to provide advice on that. Yeah, that's right. So, to start, you told me about that whenever you were gonna start your book exchange, your little cabinet that you built. So my wife and I brought about 40 books in that box right there for you guys to start that with. So it's all new within the last year or 2 years, newly published or not even published yet books.
All right. Well, we
and if you ever
appreciate
need
it.
anything-
In this box right here?
Right there, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
So,
anyone.
happy start, and then if you ever need anything from us, you know my wife works for the
Will do.
state, so
Thank
yeah.
you all.
Good. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon, or Dr. Gordon.
Thank you, Dr. Crochet. That's awesome. Next, receive update on installation of cameras.
No, you're good.
Okay, so as you all know, a few months ago, you approved allocation to start replacing our old camera systems, adding additional cameras. The initial timeline was going to be, the cameras would be in December, with installation starting in January. The cameras actually came in early, and we only have 3 more schools left to install. So I think we only have Bayou Lewis Primary, Lavendale Primary, and Bellows Primary. All of the other schools have been done. To transition into the Zero Eyes update, which is the next update, we already had that set up prior to the cameras coming in. It's kind of an independent project. Assign the licenses that we did have to our current cameras at that time. They did the first live walkthrough this afternoon at the high school just to check the weapon detection. Everything went well. So we'll be going live with that and assigning the remaining licenses to the newer cameras within the next week or two. So in total, we added 82 cameras district-wide, inside and outside, with anticipation of finishing the project next school year by adding the same amount of cameras district-wide. So we'll see where the needs are, where there's some gaps per school, and purchase based on that. So before we get to the Chromebooks, does anybody have any questions?
Not necessarily a question, but are we going to allow the schools to give us some feedback on the position of the cameras?
Yes, we already, as I grant access to the administrations at the schools, we already had some requests from the high school to change some positioning of the cameras and, you know, let's move this camera pointing here. We will make adjustments as they request it. Because they know where the action happens.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So wherever they need is where we're gonna do it. And we try to kind of be a little proactive, kind of talk to them prior to the installation. So just to minimize the having to circle back and make changes.
Y'all said we had funding every year specifically for cameras. Is that to purchase new equipment or is that maintaining current equipment?
When you submit your budget, as far as line items are concerned, how much, is it bundled with another funding source or is just that one line item for
They're
cameras?
really, before you granted this last lump sum for the next 2 years, there was really like minimal, like maybe $6,000 a year specifically for cameras. And we were in a transitionary period where the old antiquated system, it really wasn't, it was costing more to repair than to just put new cameras in. And it was old tech, it was old wiring, old everything. Zero Eyes doesn't even work, like the newer software doesn't even work with the old analog cameras that we had. So what we did is we started gradually, well, to go back, since you weren't on the board at the time, there was a plan a few years ago to allocate a certain amount of money every year to maintain and add to our camera fleet, and that just kind of dropped off after the first year, that line item. So it's my hope is that once we get this bulk of cameras there, is to figure out an allocation that would allow us to maintain the fleet and add if necessary. But my hope is after next year's install of cameras that we'll be in a place where we can just maintain and replace as they need.
And to be clear, we received grant funding, so the actual funding source that we had previously, we didn't really need because we had grant funding coming in to purchase new cameras. And I don't know where we are, I don't know if we have another round coming in for next year, but I know that we did receive some funding for our cameras as far as purchasing and installation.
Yeah, and to be on the safe side, when I submit my budget, I will submit the allocation for the installation of the new cameras, as well as maintenance. If the board approves it and we end up getting grant funding for it, then so be it. But if not, if we don't get that grant funding, we can still maintain our system.
So we have a contract with Zero Eyes to maintain these, or we on our own to maintain ourselves?
No, the current camera infrastructure, the Zero Eyes is kind of like a software piece, and it's just a license. So we only pay them for the weapons detection plug-in of the cameras, completely separate. The camera infrastructure we self-maintain. So we maintain the wiring and the cameras. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna be paying a contractor to come and move those cameras where they're supposed to be in the high school based on their feedback, or are we doing that ourselves?
It depends. We usually do that ourselves, or the next time, it's our wiring guys that usually actually do the mounting. Okay. So if we got them doing a project, running a wire, doing an installation, we'll have them repoint some cameras and for minimal cost, if any.
So what about adding cameras? Because I know at my school, there's always that one spot that comes up that, oh, we don't have a camera there.
I would like to add that to the maintenance fund. Okay. So it would be one lump sum of money, to maintain the camera, but with because we don't know, the cameras are currently under a 5-year warranty. After that 5 years, we don't know when a camera might drop off. So, you might be replacing, 5 cameras a year. Other than that, as it comes up, if there's a hot spot that, we really need a camera, we would use that funding for that.
All right, good.
Josh, how are we integrating the sheriff office with the installation of the cameras at all the schools? Are you doing wait till after we get all the cameras installed at all the schools?
The sheriff's office has been integrated into the Zero Eyes detection software. So any alerts that are triggered by that software also go to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
What I intend to do, our new camera system is all web-based and I guess account permission protected. So we will be able to grant the sheriff's office access to all our cameras if needed.
Okay.
So they'll have their own login, their own privileges to view all the things.
Excellent.
Just for information too, I went to the demo today with Dr. B, and it was very interesting. He went through the building with a dummy rifle and a dummy pistol, and he was testing the system, so he got notifications on his phone within 5 seconds of the camera detecting it. In his
This was
hand.
the sheriff, Josh?
That's beautiful.
This was
sheriff office?
the Zero Eyes. Yeah, that was the only disappointment today, was that nobody from SRP was there, nobody from the sheriff's office was there. That was a disappointment, but the system does work.
It was that was actually the last piece of the implementation, is for them to test the detection engine in our environment, and
but it was 5 seconds and he got a notification on his phone for an active weapon.
So the next step in the Zero Eyes implementation is going to be to integrate the remaining licenses that we have, that we purchased, into some of the newer cameras, because we didn't purchase licenses for all. So it's going to be to get their recommendation, because we gave Zero Eyes an account to view our cameras. So they'll be able to choose, I think we bought 75 licenses. So they'll be able to choose the higher impact 75 cameras across all of our sites to, exterior cameras so they can catch, walking in, and so forth. So
it was, I mean, it was,
yeah,
for lack of a better
hear.
word, it was pretty cool to see where it, within, seconds, it identified it and it sent alerts to his phone, to his email, to his text. So anybody who's integrated and has access, they'll get it right then. So.
But did the sheriff office know that?
This was an internal walkthrough. So this is something that the Zero Eyes company wanted to make sure their software is working properly. So they didn't want to alert any police officers, anyone from the school system. They wanted to work internally as far as their system. Now, once we go live, then I called the sheriff and I told the sheriff, I said, I'm just letting you know that we have Zero Eyes on campus. They're doing a walkthrough to test the system. If you get an alert or if you get anything, it's just a test. It's not, but it's internally just for them. That's what was, the way they communicated it to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should go into the community schools and share this information when it's all done, because a lot of people in the community have questions about safety of the school. And they're not looking at the live stream or whatever, but we bring them to the community schools, have our meetings, and touch bases with everybody. I think that would work.
I agree 100%. It's a great idea. And also, I would like everyone to know, school safety is a multi-layer approach. This is one layer to that approach. The metal detectors, one layer to the approach. Resource officers, one layer to the approach. That's why it's very important for our students. You have to listen to the teachers and administrators on staff, because our goal is to keep everybody safe. So we need everybody bags checked, we need everybody walking through the metal detectors, and also we need people listening to our resource officers so we can make sure that they are equipped with the information they need to keep us safe. So it's a multi-layer approach. I agree 100%, Ms. Electa.
I'd like to know, I know that we've done all of this, but have we ever completed the door lock? Turning over the keys to the sheriff's office? All of the things that we first started with, is any of this complete?
Mr. Dwayne is here. He'll definitely give us an update on that, Ms. Dot.
Any other questions about the cameras, Zero Eye?
No.
Next thing is the Chromebook.
One-to-one computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have all Chromebooks deployed to schools, so K through 12. Chromebooks are in the hands of the schools along with a buffer, as I would call it, for, as they break and, I kind of got a calculation. I think we upped the buffer to like 15% of the total students on the campus. The next step in our Chromebook deployment is I'm going to reach out to the schools, talk to the administration, and the whomever, if it's not the administrators that actually manage at the school level, to see how we can kind of streamline some of like the repair process and whatnot. But we haven't gotten to a bind where we had more broken than more available. But now that we have everything out, it's just a matter of maintaining and kind of streamlining the the procedures and whatnot. So, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, for the homeschoolers, do we have that's available to them also as in the past?
We actually have never had, I have never had a request. I don't see why not.
Not a problem.
Okay, 'cause I've had requests, and,
Yeah, and I don't know where they request it here, or who handles,
Yeah, Mr. Yeah, any parent, any student that is on home school, they would like to request a home Chromebook, please let Mr. Buggins know so we can get them their information. Yeah, Mr. Buggins.
Yeah,
will take care of it.
I mean, we have enough, to supply that.
yeah.
And they would actually, I mean, the Chromebook agreement for a take-home student would be exactly the same for homeless.
Okay.
So, I mean, a homeschool.
Mhm. And I think it's also important, and Mr. Claymore kind of spoke to this earlier in the year, we definitely pushing for every parent, every student to pick up a Chromebook. Because it's extremely important for us so we could replenish them. If we only have them at the school site and they're not bringing them home, we have a lot of teachers that are doing a lot of assignments on Google Classroom, so we want to make sure that we provide an opportunity. So we're going to really make a huge push that every parent, every student check out a Chromebook.
Okay, so the students are allowed to bring them home?
Yes.
What happens?
Right now, it's not mandated, but there's some schools, more schools than others, that I think the high school, everybody takes them home. Correct?
It is mandatory for classes to come out, and we still have some kids who parents never come do the agreement or get $10, yes, but they need them throughout the day. So we are pretty much one more.
They're charged every day?
It's a one-time fee, and
No, charged.
Electrically
charge.
Y'all don't have a problem with them getting charged?
But it's getting better, the more it's utilized, the better it gets.
So what happens, do they use these computers for testing?
Absolutely, yes.
So what happens for testing if they're not charged?
So we have a backup plan. I mean, state testing is state testing, ACT is ACT, if the day is happening, the day is happening. So we do have a few additional parts of Chromebooks because they have problems where they quit working or whatever, so we just swap them out. That's what the insurance is for. If it's scanning from repair, she repairs and brings it back. If not, she doesn't. And I guess they purchase new ones, but if we have some that aren't charged, when we start testing, we push a cart to the testing areas, and if the kid is not charged, or for whatever reason, the testing platform might not be working on their Chromebook that day. We just hurry up and hang them on a dollar so they can test, and we look into the problems after. But it is getting much better. We do a call out testing, serve on parents, serve on kids, to get them charged.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big thing with the buffer, to have enough to where it doesn't disrupt the day. So we kind of, I mean, we advocate that any little minor problem, instead of trying to troubleshoot, just go swap it out.
Yeah.
Swap it out, and I mean, that's one of the beauties of the Chromebooks. The kid logs in with their account, and all their stuff's there. And then we'll worry about, and the way that So just to give you a rundown of how it works, so the school has a number of Chromebooks, and we're trying to get it to a point where they just have, okay, here's our extra Chromebooks that they can hand out and assign to other students, and then if somebody brings one that's broken, they just put it in the broken pile. Well, the two technicians between their schools, they're gonna be at that school at least one day a week. Every time they're at that campus, they're pulling the broken Chromebooks. And then what they can fix, they fix. What has to be shipped off, that's covered under warranty, they ship off, but we constantly have, a flow going out. And like I said, so far, we've never got stuff where we had more broken than what we needed.
And I think it's also important to note that Ms. Thibodeau and her school went through some growing pains. But if you could listen to her today, pretty much every student at the high school has a Chromebook. So I think we just have to start and start sending those Chromebooks home, and parents, paying the $10 and getting the fee. That's just a coverage fee. Where if anything happens, you don't have to pay for it. We're gonna swap them out and get you a brand new Chromebook.
We have an exchange warranty on all of our devices. So, I mean, if there's an altercation and a kid grabs a Chromebook and just slings it and it breaks into a million pieces, we throw those pieces in a box.
And I think it's only maybe theft. I think it's the only thing that it doesn't cover.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
And then as long as if their Chromebook is stolen according to our agreement, if they file a police report and give us a copy of the police report, we issue them another Chromebook.
Right.
So there's some loss every year when they return some, but I mean the percentage is minute.
And just some feedback. So we've been using Chromebooks for a couple of years now. How is it going? How is the process itself? Bringing them to the schools, having the schools distribute those to the parents that come sign up. And I know we have some principals in here. I've attended some of those where parents schools actually pass those out. From what I'm hearing, everything has been going pretty good. And as we continue to do this process, we get better and better at it, from what I'm gathering.
And that was the point of reaching out and actually starting a conversation to see like where we can, kind of trim the fat and streamline some of the processes. But overall, not really a headache. Now, we did a lot of planning at the beginning to kind of anticipate some of this. We upped the buffer from like 10 to 15 because our stacks are getting a little bit slim. But for the most part, it's been great. Schools have worked well with us. They're very good about bringing up concerns so we can, knock them out as they come up. So.
That's good.
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure. Go ahead, Josh.
Dr. Crochet just texted me, the president of the little book club, she was here a little late, but her name is Abigail, right? Abigail Cortez, she's in the back over there. She's the one Dr. Crochet was talking about that started the club. You want to say hi to everybody?
Stand up, Abigail.
You got
Good.
Don't be shy. Look up.
My name is Abigail Cortez, and I'm the president.
The mic down.
Just put it right down a little bit, yeah. That'll get your nerves out.
I am the president of the new LMS book club. I'd like to give you an overview of why I started our book club. I feel that it is important for students, especially at our age, to read books, or reading in general. Reading helps children learn to make sense not only of the world around them, but they can learn to build social emotional skills and, of course, imagination. We're excited about getting started, and we look forward to plenty of discussions and events such as the LSU Book Bazaar, and the Louisiana Book Festival.
Abigail, I think that's spot on. I think in today's society, the youth is so distracted by everything that just being able to sit down and read a good book and let that sink in, absolutely. And so, thank you so much for doing this. That's incredible.
And I just want to commend you for coming up here and speaking to us because that takes a lot of guts, and I cannot wait to see what you do in your future because it looks bright from here.
So I told my wife about you too, and she said you have to have a competition with her. How many books you're going to read in a year? So my wife's record is 513. So you got to get working. And she's gonna call you next week and give you some good recommendations too.
Thank you very much, Abigail. If you would follow us in this next item in the agenda here about the pupil progression plan, the addendum we made by Department of Education. This what is about is reading, and you were spot on with this with your presentation. Thank you very much. And again, just like my fellow board member says, it takes courage, but you know it takes a strong person to have courage, and I think you are that person. Congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Now that smile look good now.
I think it's important when you give students opportunity.
Yes.
You know, and now this has grown into just a conversation to now students are reading more. So at any point, you know we have a lot of principals in here, but at any point we could give students opportunity. I don't care if it's a chess club, a book club, a band, or anything, we will be surprised to see how many kids actually would love to participate. So thank you, Dr. Crochet. Thank you, all of our students in the book club, and I think our principals here as well. Let's continue to provide those opportunities. Thank you.
Good. Next up on the policy and procedure, approved 2022-2023 pupil progression plan addendum. I need a motion.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Honoré, second. By Ms. Dot. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item B, receive information on revisions to Form 63 Supervisor of Early Childhood and Elementary Curriculum and Instruction.
Inside your packets, you have the job descriptions. As you know, part of when there's major changes that go to anyone's job descriptions, that needs to be presented to the board with the changes that are doing that. So not only the number of spots you approve, you also approve the changes inside their job descriptions. Well, when I was speaking to Mr. B, one of the discussions we had to do with the next item. But in order to do the next item, we had to look at which is the supervisor of early childhood and elementary curriculum position. Just some background on that. Ms. Rachel Dugas' position, and as everybody knows, that is her title. But over time, when she originally got hired, that really wasn't her title or her position. She was originally hired as the Head Start coordinator, correct? Preschool coordinator. So over time, since she's been in that position, duties have been added, and the job descriptions that she has been modified, but it's been modified kind of just like putting things together. So sometimes when you read it, it made sense, but it didn't make sense. So part of the change of what we're asking is, especially the changes in, let me just go back a little bit further. When I first took the job, we had 90 job descriptions. There was 90 different jobs in this parish. We're under 70 now. So it just shows you the decline in the number of positions we actually have in here. So what we're trying to do is in items B and C, they are actually twin positions of each other. So currently in the current makeup of the organizational chart, you have two positions right now, which is Ms. Dugas' position, which is she's handling Head Start preschool all the way up through 5th grade. Then you have Ms. Cage, which is really the supervisor of special ed, which has actually taken on a curriculum role which runs from 6th grade through 12th grade, plus her special ed role. So it's really kind of really narrowed down. So one of the things where we're asking to do is in every job description, as y'all know, there's a backside to the job description, which is even including mine, which is domains with a little bit of asterisk marks. But that has to do with professionalism, communication, those kind of things. That has never changed. But the performance responsibilities are changing. So as you know, the things that we're scratching through is the things we're changing, and the things that are blue is the things we're adding, and the things that are green is usually the things that we move inside the job descriptions that are highlighted. Well, there were so many changes to this guy's job description, it was easy just to X everything out and re-add new stuff into it, into her performance. So when you're looking at the two job descriptions, which is the supervisor, which is Form 36, I basically just read out every part of her job description because we kind of reflected the new job description on the backside. So her position, which is the supervisor of curriculum instruction for elementary and early childhood, would be over all of Head Start, all of elementary schools. That position would be in charge of. So when you're looking at domain 1, there's actually 1 through 35 are identical on both positions because they have to do with curriculum instructions. Yes, the curriculum's different in both sections. The curriculum's different in elementary, the curriculum's different in things, but the responsibility of the position should be identical. The overseeing of principals, how they implement it, the district goals, the district strategic goals, and how they go about doing it. So 1 through 35 in both positions will be different, or will be identical. So they're twin positions in supervision of curriculum instructions. But where they vary at has to be in domain 2. In the position which is originally, which is still there, we're asking it to be early childhood and Head Start, preschool, early childhood and preschool and Head Start. And then the second position, we did have a curriculum of a supervisor curriculum that was it was still active, but it was so outdated. It was just easy to write a brand new job description. So the second one is actually called, excuse me, let me get to it. It should be supervisor of curriculum and instruction, secondary/crit tech. So the second position would be a position that would cover middle school and high school. So you would have 3 positions inside of supervision or inside of instruction. One would be designated for early childhood and elementary. One would be designated for preschool and high school, and then one would be designated for special education. So those 3 positions aligned for instruction purposes.
Is that ideal for us to have just those 3 people, or was this kind of consolidated because we don't
No,
have
right
people
now,
to
there's
fill?
2 doing those 3 positions.
Okay.
And it's very cumbersome. Because not only that, they're taking on the grant work that goes with it, which is a lot of grants. Again, I think Ms. Randall said there was 4. I mean, I can't even tell you the number of grants. There used to be 11. I guarantee you there's twice as many as 11. But, you know, they're really working outside their scope and means. So, you know, they're doing a very good job at doing the job, but they're not doing a great job because they're spread so thin. So what Mr. B is asking in our organizational chart is to create another position, which would be a supervisor position of a job description. You do have a spot because they never replaced the director of curriculum instruction. So there is a spot for you to do it. We just cannot put we could create another director spot without coming to the board. But in order for him to create a supervisor spot with a new job description, he has to ask approval.
And that's ideal. So those 3, that's ideal for the size of the district?
I mean, my opinion is
okay,
yes.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. B can kind of respond.
Yeah, currently, I mean, so we have a director position already in the budget. It's already approved. It's been there forever. It's already there. So we're not adding a new position. All I'm doing is changing the job description to match our needs. So Ms. Rachel is elementary early childhood, and this position would be secondary CTE. This position would be more in the line of supporting our 612 campuses. So right now, Ms. Margaret, I really appreciate you. Thank you. Ms. Rachel, I really appreciate you because they're actually doing a job of this person, which previously was Ms. Brittany Allen.
Yeah, I guess that was my question, is 3 people is ideal. Do we need 3 or do we need 4? is 4 ideal or is 3 ideal? Well, she just said 5, so yeah.
Well,
That's what I'm asking, because one of your
I
directors
think if
was
you ask the
saying.
principals behind me, they would say 4, because, but I guess my point is, right now, you only have, but in the budget,
3 positions.
you only have X number of spots.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
you currently, unless you change something,
Yeah.
cannot approve 4, even if you wanted to, unless you would go back into the budget and give him access, or let him leave the director spot and give him another supervisor spot. But right now, that's not what,
That's not what I'm asking.
that's not
No.
what he's asking. He's just asking, because really the spot's there, he's just asking to create, or we're asking to create a supervisor spot, because in my opinion, and I guess I'm hoping that the principals will shake their head behind me, that I really think that we're spread so thin that we're not doing a very good job of support, because they're doing so many other things.
Yeah, that's
And I think especially in our special ed population, she's spending a lot of time doing other things, so that's really it's getting taken care of, but some of it's getting neglected. In the high school and middle school, they're trying to split it, so sometimes it causes confusion. I just think this is just a better makeup overall. We're asking for it today because this will create a domino. It won't start today. It may not start later, but even if you assign it and he decides to put someone in there now, and, or give it to someone, we could really still start it in July if we had to. You understand? But the problem is it creates a domino effect. So if you wait too long to assign the position or put it out, by the time the domino fits, we're already in August. Well, I'm taking teachers out of the classroom, or possibly administrators, and it's too late for me to replace them. So we have to start today to start the planning for next year, if that kind of makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the domino effect, we've learned our lesson kind of in the last couple years. We kind of waited. Well, we were opening jobs a week before school starts. Nobody knows who the principal, assistant principal is there. So that's just not a good recipe for trying to keep teachers there, because first of all, they don't know who their supervisors are. And it's also not a good job for supportive principals, because they don't know who their bosses are. So we're asking to start now, to at least open it with this position, because if it is in-house and it is someone who comes out of our ranks, that means that now I got a principal position open or assistant principal position open, and I got to open up that job, which is going to take 3 weeks. You understand? So by the time we open up all these jobs, I'm going to be already in May. So it really needs to start with, hopefully within the next week or so. But again, this is just for information. You don't have to approve it till February 1st. Myself and Mr. B would be glad to answer any questions once you look over the job descriptions you may have. You're more than welcome to come into the office so we can explain why we did what we did.
Yeah. If you need one more, ask for it in the budget. Because all of your supervisors and teachers are like, yeah, we need this many. So we don't want to compound these things if we don't have to.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
If you need it, ask for it. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next under budget, approve out-of-state travel and $50 per student stipend to assist Assumption High School cheerleaders with the cost of competing in National High School Cheer Competition in Orlando, Florida.
Second.
Move by Ms. Barris, second by Mr. Washington or Mr. Hood. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Item B, approve acceptance of the grant for LED lighting in all Assumption Parish School Board facilities. Mr. Dwayne. Motion by Mr. Honore, Mr. Lewis, second by Ms. Cooney.
I do have a question.
Hey, do we want to we'll let Mr. Dwayne, and then we'll.
Yeah. Same.
The school's the only school with 0, so the grant was through the Public Commissioner's Office. So myself and my secretary wrote this grant with the help of an outside company. So unfortunately, your school is powered by Sleeka, which doesn't fall into the grant program through the Commissioner's Office. So, but I think if we get all the rest of them paid, I may be able to fit you in through my budget. But we did receive, or we're going to receive $543,072 to change all the lighting in all the schools and fixtures and upgrade them to all LED lights, which it should save us about 50% of the cost of energy on lighting. It won't save on air conditioning and everything, but the lighting cost will come down by 50% through this upgrade. So this is at no expense to the school board. The grant is through the Public Commissioner's Office, who pays the contractors directly. We go in, we make sure all the work's done. I fill out all the paperwork, we send it to the Commissioner's Office, and he's paid each site after they're completed and certified that they're done 100%.
It also saves us on maintenance time too for not changing.
Absolutely,
legacy light
because
bulbs.
we change thousands of bulbs every year. I mean, last year, I think we bought $7,000 in light bulbs, trying to start to do LED upgrades as we go. So, I mean, I know it's a small number, but we can never spend $543,000 to try to do all the schools. So it's all interior lighting. I'm also working with Energy right now to do exterior lighting, which is a grant with Energy themselves.
Dwayne, I could not say enough about your office applying for this grant. So I know that Ms. Abby, you all, you did a phenomenal job of first of all, seeking this information out, because you went out and you presented it to me. We had some conversations about it. I said, let's go for it. You took the ball and you ran with it. So I want to say thank you and kudos to your department for doing this. So much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
If I could say this, I'm thinking Salika's iPod was probably cheaper than everybody else's anyway.
Right, yeah. So Energy might have a little bit more money to throw back at us.
Maybe I need to talk to my Salika representative.
No, I wouldn't do that. Leave it as it is. We're good.
All right. Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, authorize the superintendent to accept the proposal for Blanchard E-Services LLC for a family literacy coordinator. Need a motion? Moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Washington. Any comments, discussion?
Yeah, the only question I have is,
Yeah.
only
These went
question
in,
I-
these are just coming back into for us for approval, but go ahead, Ms. Rachel.
yeah.
Hi. If I stand back like this, can it
I don't,
on the web here?
We,
Okay, so how about I do this so we don't have feedback? I'm very loud.
I don't think it's you.
I hear it. It's not you, it's the
It's one of us.
microphone.
I believe I talked to y'all about this, but I come and talk to you about so many things I can't remember, so let me refresh memory and see if it rings a bell. We had a pot of money, that we weren't sure how to budget. And I assumed that it was for me to budget, so I reached out to the State Department with some questions. Well, come to find out, it wasn't for me to budget, but they were very intrigued with what I wanted to do with the money. So they asked me to write a proposal, and they granted Assumption Parish a pilot of literacy money, which is a really nice theme for tonight. So this pile of money that they gave us was to do literacy activities in the community and with the families at the school. So it's like for family literacy night, book clubs, game night, movie night, those kind of things at the schools and within the community. To make sure that this is successful, I wrote in that we would hire someone to run this. Another theme of tonight is that we kind of short-handed for some
yes,
things.
indeed.
So to make sure that this got done well, we wanted to have someone in charge of doing it. It has taken a little while for this to get approved and come before you, but we are ready tonight to come before you with the person. It is an LLC, because it's just easier for people to do that nowadays, but you will be very pleased with the person that this LLC is hiring. Is it okay for me to announce it?
Well, they approved it.
Okay. It's Miss
No.
Cindy Blanchard. So she will be the person who will be running these activities to help with the various literacy activities. The only issue is that the funding ends June 30th, and we don't have a contract for you tonight. I'm just realizing the way we prepared it. So we won't be able to come before you until the February 1st meeting, which puts us on an extremely tight timeline. It's very unfortunate because Bessie gave us these funds in July. It just takes a while for it to come through. But that's,
We can't move forward accepting the proposal.
yes, but I don't think we can move forward with doing anything until we have a contract.
Yeah, but that's, once the contracts come in, we'll sign off on it, because it's being approved. Right?
I believe I have to come before the board with a contract before we can.
The only
Thank you.
question I had is that Bessie, when they awarded you that, did they give you a metric to measure the program to see how successful it was?
We made this up.
Okay.
So we have a proposal that we sent them. There was no obligation for, like
Not
a
a post.
free post.
Okay, good.
No. We did present this at Teacher Leader. Assumption Parish was highlighted because we had created this.
Good.
I would imagine that they would want us to present again at Teacher Leader
Yeah.
to explain, what we were able to do with it.
Awesome. I hope you get it next year too then, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think that we, as a board, we all know that Ms. Cindy Blanchard is a gem, and we definitely could use her in any capacity. So all in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Item D, authorize the superintendent to accept the proposal for Nice's Notebooks LLC for Ready Start Network Coordinator. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Coon, need a second? Second by Ms. Hood. Any questions, discussion?
Yeah, is this a new or existing, services that this proposal right here, is this new?
So this is not a new, service. This is, I can say the name just at the last, this is Denise Claymore. She, served in this capacity last year. It's a part-time position that is funded through the Ready Start Network grant, because there's a lot of responsibility as a lead agency for Ready Start Network that we're obligated to do. And so they give you money to hire someone to help with those obligations. So this will be Ms. Denise's second time coming and helping us. Because it's grant money and it's year to year, we don't hire her, we contract her.
I guess my question again is, because I'm about accountability, is there a metric to measure the success of the program with the Head Start teachers and stuff?
Well, you're asking a multi-layered question. So the Head Start teachers do have an evaluation tool, as well as the preschool teachers.
Yeah.
The Ready Start Network coordinator is a person that the lead agency uses at the office level to go and support the various programs. And there is an evaluation tool at the end for the success of the Ready Start Network.
Okay, good. And that's
And
available.
it's actually a public survey that goes out
Oh, good.
that anyone across Louisiana can participate in.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Got a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item E, authorize the superintendent to accept the proposal from Kim S. LeBlanc for audiologist. Need a motion? Move Ms. Dodd. Second by Mr. Abear. Questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Good. Under Facilities and Grounds, approve substantial completion for Hurricane Ida roof replacements. Need a motion? Move by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Abear. Any discussion?
Come on up, you could give us an update.
Good evening, everyone. Stephen Leary, New Plans Design Group. Just to give you a quick update, we had 8 buildings as part of this at multiple schools. Most of the work was done over the Christmas holidays, so hopefully there was little impact on the schools. I got a call from the contractor last week that it was substantially complete. I inspected all the schools. I created a punch list that totals about $12,000 of outstanding items, which is very small for a project of this type. So we recommend approval of substantial completion, and once the superintendent executes the documents, it will start the lien period to make the final payment. But the project is pretty much complete.
Anything?
How many days we have for substantial completion for the function side?
45 is typically standard, but he's already completed half the list. He sent me photos, and he's almost done. And aside from the fact that we're holding money from his contract for the items that are deficient, so we're not paying him for anything that he hasn't.
You certified the work, very good. Anything
They
big?
did a great job, and I guess the other thing I'll say is typically on roof projects like this, usually they pull off the old roofs and there's defective decking and there's problems. None of these buildings had any issues, so it went pretty smooth actually.
Yeah, we're very pleased, and Dwayne could speak to it as well. I mean, not one phone call. I received like You know, you all did a phenomenal job. I really appreciate it. The contractors, yeah, they kept us.
They did a great job.
Yeah, they kept us informed. We receive a lot of updates. They did it during, our principals are here. I mean, during times when we were not in school, and even when they had to be there, weekends and holidays. So they did a phenomenal job. So we just want to just say thank you, and also thank to the contract. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Job's not done yet, but we're getting close. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, great. Item B, receive update on outdoor improvement projects at Bayou Lewis Primary School, Napoleonville Primary School, Lavelyville Primary School, Napoleonville Middle School, Belrose Middle School, and Pierpont Elementary School.
Okay, so I have update on a couple of these, and then Mr. Savoy, he's here, he's gonna give update. So the outside project at Bayou Lewis, and Lavelyville and Napoleonville, I spoke to our vendor, and it's a tentative ship date, end of January for the product. So all of the material, all of the supplies, the playground equipment, they're telling me a tentative date is end of January. They're gonna ship those out to those schools. Once it's shipped, once they get a final a timeline of when they're gonna arrive, then they're gonna contact a company that's gonna install them, and then they're gonna start with the installation. But they're not gonna give me a date for installation until we get a date from the company, which is company's game time, that they're gonna send the equipment out. Tentatively, end of January. So I know we have a lot of our principals in here that will be receiving this, so tentatively, end of January. She told me that she will follow up with me in 4 weeks. So I have another update in 4 weeks.
Okay. Item C, receive update on roof replacement projects at Assumption High School, Belrose Middle School, Lavelyville Middle School, Lavelyville Primary School, and Napoleonville Primary School.
Yeah, can I go back one, because I want to update on the outside project at Pierpont Elementary, Belrose Elementary, Belrose Middle, I'm sorry.
Outside project.
Yes, at both of these schools, the basketball courts have been completed, as well as the canopy systems. We met with the superintendent as well as Wayne today. At Belrose, there are some improvements, or some additional things that need to be done with those canopies to complete those projects. Mr. Wayne also went out to Pierpont today. We had some improvements done there. My office will be heading there tomorrow to do a final inspection and make sure everything is done. Hopefully at the next available meeting, we will be coming to you requesting substantial completion, and those projects will be closed out.
Thank you, Joseph. I'll say we're moving to item D, receive update on restroom renovation project at Pierpont Elementary School. Mr. Dwayne.
You may as well steal from Belrose and do them both.
So the bathroom project at Pierpont, we're looking at a start date of February 20th to start the demolition, which is the Mardi Gras break. So since the kids will be out that week, we figured it'd be a good time to start. We expected this to take about, I think he said we was gonna close out around May. We should be finished with it. We're hoping to be finished with May, so we're gonna use the Mardi Gras break and then the Easter break as well. So the bathrooms will be down for some time, but they have other bathrooms at the schools quite naturally. So it's gonna be a complete gut and a complete remodel. So it's gonna take some time to complete those two. It's the two in the middle school, the middle school old building, the old main building.
You talking about the ones in the gym?
No, ma'am, not the ones in the gym. We couldn't afford those, so I don't know if you remember, we took those out. We had to back them out because we didn't have enough money in the budget for those as well. So we're doing the boys and the girls in the middle school old main building. The gym one, the locker rooms is what you're referring to? Those will not be done in this project. Well, because of the budget. They came in, I think we allocated over $100,000. We estimated about $100,000. These two bathrooms are gonna be $115,300 just to do two of them. So I didn't have the money to put out to do all of them and to accomplish to get the bathrooms done at Belrose Middle as well. We just got the bids back for Belrose Middle, and it was $352,000 for full bathrooms. I mean, everything is, all the pricing is through the roof right now.
Dwayne, the two bathrooms outside, when you walk out the breezeway between.
The two, right outside the old, not the old building, the French building by the gym.
Right.
I did take a look at those. We had taken those out because of the cost, because they were included.
Well, then we need to close them. There's so much mold in there.
They're not supposed to be in there right now. They're supposed to be closed right now. They're not supposed to be using them. So they're supposed to be locked. So I can go there, I'll go there first thing in the morning, because I do want to look at them, because I was discussing it with the guys today, and looking at dimensions and measurements and everything that they pulled for me. We're gonna probably do those in-house. So, because I know when they have football, or they have something going on out there on the field, it's just much easier to get them in those bathrooms without giving them access to the building if it's after school hours. So we did have that discussion today, so we are looking at taking care of those bathrooms.
I don't know if they open during the school day, but I know that on weekends now we have a CBA basketball, and parents are going out there to use it for some reason now. And I've been getting calls saying, why are y'all allowing our kids in these bathrooms?
They should be going in the new building. There's a new building, and there's access from the door.
Well, they need to have locks on them. They're not supposed to be used.
They should have been locked, but I'll go there tomorrow. I'll make sure, I'll personally go there tomorrow and make sure they are locked.
Thank you.
So I will take care of that. But I was under the impression that they were, because me and Mr. Patami had talked about shutting them down, and I asked them to lock them up. I'll go there tomorrow and make sure they're all locked up. But I was under the impression they weren't using them because of the conditions of them. So.
Sewer lines. You have complaints about sewer backing up and stuff.
Where? In Camp or? Nothing out of the ordinary. We had grease trap problems a while back, but I mean, we pump those out twice a year. We put grease dissolve in them. So they do cause issues if it's getting to the sewer lines, but normally we have a grease trap that takes care of that first. I mean, in the schools, these kids put anything down the toilet. So I mean, we do have problems, but I haven't had problems that's just consistent, so.
So you said you're gonna be out there tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you please let me know what time you're gonna be there tomorrow?
What time do you want me to be there?
No, you tell me. I mean, just let me
I'll be there at 9 o'clock.
Okay, I'll be there.
Okay.
All right, good deal. You want to keep going with the Belrose?
I'll let Joseph speak to the Belrose project,
Okay.
because we gotta do an addendum and do some other things with that project, again, because of the cost.
All right, thank you.
But yeah, it's extremely, right now, we were looking at almost $1 million to do the restrooms on those projects. So we had to make an addendum, and that's what we did. We have to do the same thing in Belrose, make an addendum. And we're gonna put it back in the budget for next year and do more bathrooms. So we wanted to do them all at one time, and we just didn't have the money currently in this budget to do it.
All right, Joe.
Well, I think you all know I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. We did go out to bids again for the Belrose Middle School restrooms, and this included a total of 5 restrooms. It was 4 main student restrooms and then 1 smaller faculty restroom. And as you all know, this is the second time we go out for bids. The first time did come over budget. We made some cuts. We went back out. It came over budget again. This time, we itemized, what we did is we put everything in there. So we knew the budget was going to go up, but this time we itemized everything. So what Superintendent and Dwayne are referring to is now we know what the cost is. We have it itemized. Yes, we're going to have to make some cuts, but now we're able to at least work with the bid we've got and come in and remove those items because it's itemized. And we can say, yes, we're not going to get everything we want. We're not going to get all of the restrooms done, but at least at this point, we'll be able to move forward with something once the superintendent and Dwayne are able to set a definitive budget and say, hey, we have X amount of dollars to spend. Then we're going to come to the board with a recommendation of a priority and say, look, you have $150,000. We've got a $350,000 bid. We need to cut X, Y, and Z and bring it within that budget and move forward with that, and then roll those remaining restrooms that need to be repaired, whether we roll it to next year's budget or if we hopefully find some grant funding or something so we can move forward. But currently, the bid we received was from Sage Construction. And that total of that bid is $352,367. And as I said, it is extremely high, but it is in line with the bids we're seeing everywhere. I hate to tell you that, but materials have skyrocketed. We're having trouble getting materials. That's been the latest dilemma that I'm hearing from a lot of contractors is they're saying 6 months before they can even get certain equipment in. So that's where we stand right now. We will be coming back to you with a recommendation that brings you within the allowable budget that we have, and then we can decide let you all make a decision on how to move forward from there. We only have one bid.
Yeah, notwithstanding the market conditions right now, which everybody knows everything's inflated. Ms. Hood and I went to that school the other day to tour, do a little visit.
Mm-hmm.
Those restrooms are terrible.
Yes. Terrible. Yes.
Terrible.
Yes.
Whatever we need to do to approve, I don't know if we could even do this, but approve an emergency use of funds to get those things done, we got to do that. We have $28 million in the bank. Those nobody wants to go in there.
The
And
boys'
the kids
restrooms are horrendous.
The kids there told us while we were there, I'm so happy you're looking at the restrooms. Is something going to happen? If you haven't been to that school, call Miss Melanie and ask her to go and visit. We talk about these things in the meetings, and we talk about budgets and bids being too high. That's bull. These restrooms need to get fixed. Whatever we need to do that, we need to do that.
When our children are making the comments that we don't care enough to fix these restrooms, we have a bigger issue than we're handling at the time. It's just.
We have to bite it and spend the money and fix this. I wouldn't use the restroom there. I would invite everybody from this office to go there and use the restroom next time you got to go and see how fast we get things done. Or everybody on the board, next time you got to go, call Miss Melanie and ask her for a bathroom pass. It's going to get done quick. I was furious when I walked in there. Whatever we have to do to release that. And to
No,
spend,
I mean,
and to
it's
spend,
the
we need to
line
do
item
it.
that we're working off of right now is capital improvement money.
Yeah.
So we allocated within the budget, I want to say a little bit over, 350,000. Right. So I'm just going off of the budget that we had. So if you tell me tonight that, Mr. Bartholomew, we're gonna appropriate more money for you to go out and finish those restrooms, I'll have it. Matter of fact, we don't even have to do an addendum. We could approve the project for, how much is it?
What are we trying?
I would like to see more bids come in. I don't understand why we're not getting anyone else to bid on this project. I know there's a lot of work going on, but there is also a lot of new construction people out here that, I mean, let's go another story. We're not out, the downtown is not getting out there.
Well, even Ms. Hood and I talked about it. Just little things to reduce that budget would be to go to the high school shop class and say, make this a class project. Y'all are going to build the stall walls for these bathrooms. If that's something that we can do. I don't know if we can do that, but if it is something, let's explore some more creative options to get that $350,000 down a little bit.
Some of the things we are exploring, this is with Dwayne. Dwayne came to me and said, look,
Who does an
I've
amazing
got guys
job, by
that
the
can
way.
install the grab bars. We can, and that's part of the reason we itemized this bid. And we have set up a meeting with Dwayne and this contractor to do just that.
Yeah.
To say, hey, what can we do in-house? What can you do so we can maximize the dollars that we have?
Yeah.
In answer to your question, Ms. Duga, this is going out on Central Auction House. They used to advertise it just on the school website and then in the local paper. Now we're doing both. We go on the school website, on the local paper, as well as Central Auction House. It goes out nationwide. Yeah, yes. We had, I agree. I agree. We had over a dozen, we had well over, I would say, close to probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 contractors viewed the plans, went through everything. They didn't turn in a bid. I can't answer that as to why. You know, we're all in the same boat, and I agree with you. We're going to do whatever we can. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, and you You all are 100% correct. These bathrooms need attention, and they need attention.
And I want to say, we have about, how much is that bid for all of those restrooms?
This one is 352, 367.
For all the restrooms. Dwayne, how much was the bid for all the restrooms?
274 for all the,
Which would put me about $300,000 over budget. If you tell me, Mr. Badalman, we're gonna give you more money to do it and then we're gonna approve it, I'll go get it done. But I'm just working within the current budget that we have.
I
agree. Okay,
So,
all right, I just
all
want to.
right, so Joseph, when can you get the lower bid? When can we expect to get the cut to see when we can start?
We're setting up a meeting with Dwayne and the contractor as soon as possible.
Perfect.
Basically, as soon
Okay.
as they tell me they're available, we're gonna be there. We have the itemized numbers, and we're gonna crank it out.
Not to cut Joseph off, I already started working on all of those. I started last week, I continued to work on them this morning. So the numbers will come in about 194, but at 194,000, you're still only getting 2 bathrooms. I mean, the cost is just outrageous. Like Mr. Badalman said, if y'all wanna open up the books and give the money, we can spend every dollar you have, because the schools are in terrible shape. So, I mean, like you said, we're working within the budget, and we're trying to do something for everybody. And it's hard to do when one project is 352,000, but we only give it 350,000.
Yeah.
So it just, I mean, at times
So-
it is what it is, but y'all wanna have a discussion and.
No, so we realize what you guys are up against. We're up against a budget. But we're gonna need Miss Randall to be involved in this. We're not just gonna vote on spending $300,000 tonight, okay? So this needs to be a discussion with Miss Randall, and it also, with you guys to decide what's the priorities. I think we all know that we need a lot of work, but again, this project, that project, this project, that project, if we start doing that, we gotta prioritize. So I recognize you guys are up against the wall, and it's not your decision what to work on, okay? So you're not the bad guy, just to say. You guys are just doing your job, all right?
Right. No.
I understand, but what it looks like is we're blaming these guys, and we're not.
I just want y'all to understand what we're doing, so I mean, we spent the whole budget on this one project, then y'all wanna know why we didn't do anything else.
Correct.
It just costs a lot of money to do these things. So as far as the Bell Rose bathrooms, we've done them in-house. When I took over the maintenance department, I personally went in, I brought in 10 custodians in that school and cleaned it, and then it went back to where it was. Okay, so now we're back to where we started, so we're trying to get it back to where it needs to be. I mean, it's a constant battle.
We're not maintaining?
And I do have to say, the custodian there has been doing a very good job. She has been, when we went, she has been doing as best as she can. But I believe like the parts with the rust and the things like that, things that I would have caution tape around when there's children involved, is what, we see in the frustration. And we thank y'all for doing as much as y'all have been.
And Mr.
The
Go ahead, Mr.
five restrooms, those are at Rose Middle?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what, two girls?
That's 2 girls, 2 boys restrooms, and then a smaller faculty restroom.
And that estimate was $352,000.
$352,000.
And what does that, entail? I mean,
That
gut out
it's
and,
a total gut and redo, but as we said, we itemized it so we could prioritize some things, because we knew from the previous bid that we were gonna be out of the budget that we have. It's just the numbers we're seeing today. I will say this, and I'm not, and I do not take anything that you all are saying as a point or a blame. With that said, the things that we're seeing in these restrooms is not maintenance, and it's not custodial, it's not clean. These bathrooms aren't dirty. They are old.
Yes.
They are extremely old. We're seeing terracotta pipes that are broken in walls. You're talking about nearly 100-year-old plaster walls. You're talking about, as I said, terracotta pipe. I have one restroom where the plumbing was removed and is actually being run above ground to a toilet that was removed. That's not anything Dwayne did. That's not anything. That is just that is what we're dealing with. We don't have the age on this plumbing, the age on the materials. you're not getting any more out of it. It's not a matter of maintenance. It's not a matter of the custodian didn't clean the restroom. Because you go in there, look, I'll tell you, we go in these restrooms, there's not a lick of mold. The floors are clean, it's not that. It's a fact. They're old.
Yeah.
It's nothing anybody did, it's just age.
It's what we didn't do. It's
So
what
we should've
is
been
we let the problems compound for so long that now we have to spend $350,000 fixing a restroom.
And then the
So,
thing
but-
about it is we keep going and keep holding off, guess what, that number gonna go
It's gonna
higher
keep
and
going
higher
up.
as the years pass. So we're gonna have to come to agreement, come to grip and just sit down and think it out real hard and go ahead and bite the bullet.
And Ms.
So
Doris
we
is
won't have this
correct.
conversation anymore.
Ms. Doris is correct. This is the third time I stand before you with these same restrooms.
Yeah.
The number's not going down. It's not anything that
They're gonna
Dwayne's
go
doing,
up.
I'm doing anybody.
Cause they're just gonna get worse.
So what I like to see at the next meeting
gotta
is a
attack.
proposal to approve expenditures on this, and let's get it done. You know? Yeah, go ahead. I said what I'd like to see is next meeting, an approval of expenditure for this, if we can do that. So you have to meet with Anya and meet with them after their meet, I mean, we gotta do it. It's,
Let's first, have them get up with chief financial officer and go through the numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to supersede what the numbers she's already put up.
Yeah.
And look, I'm well aware of all the conversations that have taken place here tonight. Nobody knows that area more than me, I'm telling you. I've been there more than I can imagine, but I'm telling you, we got to be frugal in how we do this.
No, we still on it.
Again, let's get up with Ms. Brown and make sure that, the numbers that we put out there, you know, that it's achievable. We can do this. You know, but again, just like Ms. Walsh was saying, you know, the numbers, I don't think they're gonna go down because when you look at, you know, like I told you, you know, there's still working areas over there in Lake Charleston from the hurricane 2 years ago. Still got the same thing going over south of here, you know, it wasn't terrible area. So, the contractors, it's a contractor's market right now. You know, and they're gonna dictate what they wanna do. Of course, yes.
And I can't speak for the engineers that are handling the Pier Park restrooms, but I can tell you, I'm 100% certain that they're facing the same conditions with the restrooms. It's an age factor.
Ms. P, I know that you have discussed us having a board retreat. I think this would be a good time now. I think we're ready to have some serious discussion about things like this. And I'd like to see it to where it's at a time where everyone can be there. I know it's hard to have it at night, but I think that we really need to be aware that
Oh, yeah.
all of our board members can attend. I think it's very important.
Perfect, no problem. And I want to say this before we move on. We're getting ready to start having conversations about next year's budget. So everything that we're talking about, even if we continue moving forward with the current projects right now, we can allocate in a new budget everything that we need. And in that way, we're not having to say, hey, Mr. B, you only got $350,000, but it's $700,000 to fix it. You can all, you know, we can all say, hey, we're gonna give you the resources you need to carry out. And we'll have that discussion and prioritize.
Yeah.
So I think, keep that in the back of our minds as well. We're getting ready to start budgeting for the 2023-2024 school year, and we can start putting that money in there as well.
yeah, let's,
I also learned today that we have we're gonna lose a lot of students in the population, and that means that,
Yes.
big.
Currently, right now, we're looking at around 50 students, which obviously is about $500,000. Currently, right now, that's the first look and see, you know, at our numbers. So, met with Shannon today, principals, you know, we're gonna start having conversations about staffing real soon. But that's what we're looking at right now, around 50 students.
And I take that information for our
Retreat? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, so please let's not let any issue compound anymore and wait 3 years to approve something when we could have spent $200,000 less,
Well,
$150,000 less.
Mr. Abey, I don't think.
Oh, no, not him.
Yeah,
I'm not
correct.
directing it towards you, sorry.
Yeah, okay, well.
Let's not let things, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's move on. I think we've established that we definitely need to take care of these things ASAP. I think we've hammered that home, right? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. F, receive update on two-story building renovations of Assumption High School.
Yes, as you all know, that project was also kind of in the same boat. We have placed, it is out to bids currently. What we have done is basically we added in those things with the air conditioning and so forth that were discussed. We were able to get those plans back from the mechanical engineers. That's what we were waiting on previously. We went ahead and advertised and set a bid date. Mr. Dwayne has not had the opportunity, so I'm not gonna, he has not had the opportunity to visualize or see the final set because of the Christmas holidays and so forth. We will be providing those to him for his review. If there are any changes that need to be done, we'll do those via addendum prior to the bid coming in, but we wanted to get it out to get the project moving. What we did do is we have alternate bids in there, some alternates available. Should things come in over, under, and so forth, it will give you all some options that we can present to you at that time to get that project done. It does include the air conditioning system. We actually bidding it two ways. One where we're providing each individual classroom basically supplies its own fresh air, and then the standard way and the way we would like to see it would be installing a fresh air system for the whole building as its own individual system that would allow us to reduce the size of the units individually in the classrooms. It's being bid both ways because we want to see what's the best option available to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, receive update on AHS football stadium, baseball field, softball field, and gym bleacher upgrades. That's you, Jim.
That's not an, we don't have an update, just, I just wanted the board to know, I did receive some phone calls from board member parents about the condition of the gym bleachers. So I just wanted to let everyone, we're talking about athletic facilities. I think it's important to also look at our gym, and we actually, we need to renovate that as well. So I added that to the conversation. So that's the only update that I have.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Okay, comments and announcements, board member and administration, anything?
I had a ton of calls this week about truancy letters going out. I think we need to review that policy and procedure as a policy for the board on how we execute that whenever truancy letters goes out. Because the letter, I got one as well for my child, and it was because a doctor's note wasn't recorded correctly at the school, which we cleared up. But the procedure in which we go through that needs to be looked at because the wording in the letter is a little ambiguous and incorrect on the timeline. It's like you miss 3 days or you miss 5 days and you're truant. Some school sites are 10 days for the whole year. Some school sites are 5 days one semester, 5 days the next. And there needs to be more information put out that goes out to the families because not a lot of people understand that, which when I got a letter, I was kind of surprised because, we always provide stuff to the school for us, but it was just a mistake by the site. And a lot of people got the letters and freaked out, and thought that they were going to be brought to court based on the letter they got. They had to go to a meeting, then we're going to immediately go to court. So I got many, many, many phone calls on that. So we need to make sure the message is clear, the wording is correct from the SRO office, I believe. So if we can look at that in policy, that would be good too.
Not a problem.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure the schools are getting those phone calls too.
Yeah. Not a problem. Again, I just want to congratulate our educators, our teachers, being a true educator all my life, went to school to be an educator. Words could not describe the impact that you have on the lives of young adults. So kudos to you all, and you trust me, you have a special, special place in heaven because you're sacrificing your life for our life, and I truly believe that. So I want to congratulate you all, our leaders as well. Thank you for being an outstanding educator, and thank you for working in Assumption Parish Schools. Thank you.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ms. Barris, second by Ms. Hood.